Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Y'all know I don't do long intros, so let's just get into it. So, I have started Solidcore and I am 2 classes in. Let's talk about it. Okay, so my first class was a few days ago. I took Foundations 50 with Coach Michelle. I'm going to insert a little clip from that day. Alright y'all, so I am standing outside. I am excited. My very first ever Solidcore class. I'm standing outside the studio. I don't have the camera pointed towards the studio because there are people in there like putting on their coats and stuff like that. So I'm going to go in there, grab a locker, and just get myself acquainted with the whole situation. So I arrive at the studio, I punch in the door code. The code is shared with you when you register for a class. So I walk in and I see there's a lady at the desk up front and she's speaking with someone. So I said, okay, cool. I'm not quite sure at this point if I needed to check in with someone or not. So I just went around to the lockers and there's signage on the lockers telling you how to use them. So that was pretty easy to figure out. I put my coat and other items in there that I was not going to be taking into the studio with me. So I put my stuff in the locker and I'm going, you know what? Maybe I should just check in with somebody. So I walk past the name board where they have the new clients list. And I don't see my name up there. And I said, okay, a little interesting, but whatever. So I go to stand in line. Like I said, the lady at the desk, she's talking to someone. And I don't know if this person is a coach or a student or whatever. It is a different person from the person she was talking to when I first came in and went to the lockers. So I'm standing there. And then another lady comes in and she's standing behind me. So the line is forming. And they're talking. And I said, okay. So there's a lady sitting off to the side in a set of chairs. Turns out she is the person who is checking people in. But I did not know that. So she speaks to the lady behind me first. I don't know if the lady standing behind me got her attention first or what, but she took her name to check her in. And then she walked around the corner to where the lockers were to ask other people their names so she could check them in. So at this point, I'm feeling some type of a way because I've been standing here. And she saw me, right? So I hear her talking to other people. So I said, okay. So I went like around the corner and I said, hey, are you checking people in? My name is Dominique. I'm here for the class. And she was like, oh, okay. At that point, she was very nice. She did give me they give you a very brief tour of the studio. They point out the lockers, which I had already used. They tell you what the bathrooms are, where the changing rooms are. There's a water refill station off to the side. There's a coat rack in the back. So gave me the little over tour of the studio. She asked me why was I looking to do Solidcore, and I said, oh, I just did some research and it seems like it's a really good workout. So, you know, and I'm trying to get back in shape. So here we are. Cool. All right. So a few minutes after that, the studio opens up and the prior class starts coming out. The people start coming out. So it's okay. We go in. So we start lining up. Those of us who are waiting to go in, we start lining up and we go in and we choose our reformers. And I was sort of in the middle. Now this was a full class. Like I said, this was Foundations 50. Which from what I've read, if you're brand new to Solidcore, you should do either foundations classes or the starter classes. So, like I said, I was kind of in the middle. So the coach, she goes down the line. She introduces herself, and then she goes down the line and asks everybody their name. Are there any first timers in here? My hand immediately goes up. Yes, this is my very first time doing a Solidcore class. Cool. So there's me and one other person in this class who it's our very first time doing Solidcore ever. So Coach Michelle says, okay, for you two newbies, I will adjust your springs as needed. The rest of you need to adjust your own springs. So it was a very, very good class. Coach Michelle is great. She moved around the entire time. She adjusted me as needed, helped me, get my form right. She was very good about repeating instructions over again. If someone had missed it, like we can always like look and see what this person is doing and what that person is doing. But yeah, she was very good about giving the instructions. So my review of the workout, I really liked it. I felt it the whole 360, like around my mix session, all the way from the front all the way around. When I left, I could feel it, and I'm like, yeah, I had a good workout today. So in that foundations class, we hit all the areas, and I really liked it. So my very first impression after my first class, like I said, I was still kind of put off by the whole check-in thing, because I was like, I'm standing here. Like I don't know if she thought I knew. Maybe she thought I knew the lady who was up front. Maybe she thought I was just standing. I don't know. I'm trying to be more graceful in the year 2026, meaning give people more grace. So I'm just going to assume she didn't realize that I was waiting to check in. But that thing kind of threw me. But then went into the class. The class was great. Coach was great. And then afterwards, the coach and I had a little chat. She was very encouraging, stick with it. She said, you did great for your very first time. She did a brief overview of the starter classes that they have, and the packs you can buy and like how much they cost and stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, it was a great. So when I left there, I was like, okay, yeah, I feel like I got a really great workout, and overall it was a very good experience. Okay, that's class number 1. Okay, so class number 2 was today. I did a starter 50 class with Coach Drea. Now, starter 50, they get very much into the nuts and bolts of Solidcore. So Coach Drea gave us the overview of the reformer. Not just a broad overview, but a very detailed overview of these are the pieces, these are the weight amounts of the different springs, these are the weight amounts of the weights on the floor in front of you. We didn't end up using the weights on the floor, but it was still good to know that those are there and how much they weigh. So then Coach Drea would demonstrate each exercise, and then we do it. So I really appreciated that, what your body should look like. And it's very big on form. Solidcore is all about form and speed. So you want to be positioned correctly, and you also want to be moving slowly. Like, this is not about trying to pump out the reps real fast. This is, building that tension and, being deliberate with your movements. And I really enjoy that. And Coach Drea went around and corrected people and gave adjusted people as needed, and also gave verbal correction. And Coach Drea gave very good descriptions of how you want to be positioned. Like when she was like, oh, if you want to imagine if I just punched you in your stomach, and the way you kind of suck in, that's what you want to be doing. I said that's an excellent way to think about it. Or she's like, you want to be like you're trying to headbutt the mirror in front of you. I really appreciated those descriptions because it was very easy to understand of what you were supposed to be looking like. And there was one particular exercise that I was kind of struggling on, and Coach Dre was very encouraging and said some very encouraging words of, you know, you stick with it, you're here, you know, you can do this, and you're going to feel so much better after this, and all the things. And it was really great to hear that. I really liked it. So this second class was a smaller class. The first class I went to was completely full. Every reformer was filled. This second class, there were slightly less than half as many people. So it was more intimate setting. So I really enjoyed it. So oh, that's what I'm meant to talk about. So the check-in process this time around for this second class, it went a lot different than the first time around. First of all, I got to the studio and I tried to punch in the door code, and the door wasn't unlocking. And the lady who was doing the check-in, she came to let me in, and she goes, yeah, you have to wait until like 10 minutes before your class is set to start. I said, okay, but that's not how it was the last time. So I don't know. I don't know if it's dependent on like who's working that day. I don't know, because like I said, I got the very first class I went to. I got there. The class was scheduled to start at 6:30 p.m. I got there a little bit after 6, and I punched in the door code, and it worked just fine. And then today, the class was scheduled to start at 9 a.m. and I got there like maybe 8:45-ish, a little bit after 8:45, and the door code didn't work. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe who is ever working that day decides when the door codes actually work or when they don't. The good news is the person who was checking people in today, she acknowledged me. Oh, you're checking in. What's your name? You're here for a 9 a.m. class. Yep. You're in Studio 1. Yep. So that was much smoother. So I also looked at the board today to see the new clients board to see if my name was on it. It still was not on it. So based on the fact that my name was not on the board either one of these 2 days, I'm going to take that to mean that you only get your name on the board once you sign up for the committed membership. Which brings me to pricing. So I signed up for the 4-class pack. So for people who are brand new to Solidcore, they have 2 options. They have a 2-week unlimited pass for $99 plus tax that you can get. I did not go with that option because realistically speaking, I'm not going to be going to Solidcore every day. So I went with the 4-class pack that you have 30 days, and you can go 4 times within that 30 days, and that was $64 plus tax. And with the tax, it came to $67 and some change. So not bad at all. After you get past like your newbies packages, then the prices go up. But we'll see. I really like it. I have 2 more classes left on the pack that I bought, and then we'll see, I'll make a firm decision about, am I going to sign up for a committed membership, or will I just keep buying class packs? Because you have the option to do that. You don't have to sign up for the committed membership. So we'll see what I want to do once I get there. Another thing I noticed, there are different age ranges in the classes, different races of people in the classes. So I really like that part of it. It's a diverse group of individuals. I will say I am the tallest person there by far, in both classes. That includes the students and the instructors. I'm 5'9", and I am towering over everyone else. So that doesn't bother me at all. Like I said, I've been tall all my life, so I'm used to it. But just something of note, for those of you on the taller side, you will stand out in a class just because you're taller than everyone else. But they do have on the reformers, the handlebars can be adjusted for height. And Coach Drea did show us, for those of us who are on, various heights. So it's like if someone's around, like what she said, like 5'3" or something, this is where the bar would need to be. And there was a reformer in there that the handlebars were kind of up higher. And she's like, yeah, if you are over 5'6", this is where your handlebars would want to be. So yeah, like I said, I'm 5'9". So yeah. So just something to be aware of, not a negative. So let's remind myself what I talked about here. I talked about the check-in process, talked about the classes, I talked about pricing. So yeah, I'll talk about the studio itself now. It is clean in there. So when you come in, like I said, they have the different areas. They have the check-in desk up here, they have the bathrooms, they have lockers, they have a changing room area, and then they have this little section where they have dry shampoo, they have hair ties, they have like they have a blow dryer on the wall. So like the dry shampoo and stuff, I don't think I would ever use, but the hair ties I appreciate it, because if I ever forget to put my hair up, I can stop and grab a hair tie on the way in. They also have plastic bags on the wall, so if your clothes are wet, you're sweaty, and you can put them in a plastic bag. So I really appreciated that as well. So I like the security. I like the door code, that they don't have people just walking in and out. And there's no waiting area per se. Like there's a couple chairs and there's like a bench close to the lockers, but this is not a hangout. Like you're not bringing people to hang out with you. If you're not there to take a class, then if you're not there to take a class or teach a class, or you're the person checking folks in, if you don't fall into those three categories, you are not there. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Get them in, take your class. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. I appreciate that. So like I said, so far so good. I am 2 classes in, and I really, really like it. I can feel it in my core. I can feel it in my legs. We were doing a little bicep curls, and I'm looking forward to getting my guns back. And I said, I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm glad I started it. So I will keep y'all updated as to how this journey is going for me. So let me know down in the comments if you are doing Solidcore, if you're thinking about doing Solidcore. Let's talk about it, and I will see y'all in the next video.